All right, buckle up for a deep dive today.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're going to a place you might not expect.
Okay.
Exploring the growth of Christianity in predominantly Muslim countries.
Interesting.
And we've got a great YouTube video as our guide.
Okay.
Highlighting 10 different countries where this is happening.
Wow.
And what's really fascinating is that we're not just talking about a small handful of people here.
Right.
We're talking about some pretty significant conversion rates.
Really?
Which begs the question, what's driving this?
Yeah, what is driving this?
And what does it mean for the global religious landscape?
Exactly. It really challenges our assumptions about how we think about religious demographics.
Right.
You know, we tend to think of these communities as kind of static, but this shows how dynamic they really are.
Yeah. And the video doesn't just throw numbers at us.
No.
It actually dives into some of the reasons behind these conversions, and I think that's where things get really interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
So let's start with our first group, Malaysia, Algeria, and Morocco.
Okay.
These countries show a steady, although more modest, increase in Christian converts.
Interesting.
Why do you think we're seeing this in these particular nations?
Well, in Malaysia, it seems like the sense of community that converts find is really appealing.
Yeah.
This resonates with our human need to belong, right?
Absolutely.
Especially in a world that can feel isolating.
Yeah.
But additionally, the message of grace and salvation seems to really resonate with folks.
Yeah.
Offering a sense of solace, maybe, in the face of hardship.
It's interesting. I think it goes beyond just the message, though.
Yeah.
Because the video also mentions increased religious freedom in some areas.
Right, yeah.
So that's creating more space for people to explore.
Yeah, absolutely.
Different faiths more openly.
Freedom of choice
Yeah.
often leads to a more diverse religious landscape.
For sure.
Now, Morocco, this one is really interesting to me because it's 99% Muslim.
Wow. But we're still seeing a consistent, albeit smaller growth.
Yeah.
In the Christian community. There are estimates of 15 to 20 conversions daily.
That really surprised me.
Yeah.
What's going on there? Is it similar to Malaysia?
There are some parallels, yeah.
Okay.
That message of hope and forgiveness resonates. This idea of a personal relationship with God.
Right.
Which some may feel is lacking.
Okay.
But it's also important to consider the historical context here.
Okay.
While Islam is dominant today, Christianity actually has very ancient roots in that region.
So some individuals might feel drawn to a faith that was once more prevalent in their cultural heritage.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I hadn't considered that.
It's a reminder that religious identity can be really layered and complex, shaped by personal and historical factors.
Right.
And, you know, Morocco's constitution technically guarantees freedom of belief.
So that might create an environment where people feel a bit more comfortable exploring different paths, even if they diverge from the majority.
Okay. So we've got these open and steady conversions happening.
Right.
But the video also delves into places where things are a lot more complex.
Yeah.
Where conversions happen more quietly, even secretly.
Right.
Due to social and legal pressures.
Yeah.
So let's move on to group 2. Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Turkey.
Okay, this is a stark contrast.
Yeah.
Let's take Saudi Arabia, for example.
Okay.
The public practice of any religion other than Islam is strictly prohibited.
Right.
So you might assume that would completely stifle any conversions.
I would think so.
But according to this video, an estimated 20 to 30 people are converting to Christianity every day.
Every day.
In Saudi Arabia.
Wow, that seems risky.
Yeah.
What could be motivating them?
It really speaks to this profound human need. Even in the face of intense pressure, people are choosing to embrace a new faith, even if it means keeping it private. So it seems like there's a real yearning for something beyond that dominant religious framework. Maybe a different way of connecting with the divine.
I guess when you consider the consequences, it really speaks to how strongly they must feel that.
Right.
Because they're not doing this lightly.
It raises all these questions about the interplay between faith and societal norms. Now, the video suggests that many of these converts in Saudi Arabia come from expat communities, but there are locals who are converting too in secret.
Wow.
So it really seems like the desire outweighs the risk for some. And it's worth remembering the historical context here. Christianity predates Islam by centuries. So for some, it's less about a break and more about reconnecting with an older faith.
It's not just a binary.
Exactly. It can be layered and complex.
Yeah.
So moving on to Egypt, it's a bit different because it has a long-standing Christian community.
Yeah.
Primarily Coptic Christians.
Yeah.
But we're seeing a new wave from Islam to Christianity specifically. Reports of around 14,000.
Wow.
In recent times.
So that's like 38 a day?
Yeah, something like that.
And while the reasons are going to vary from person to person, the video highlights this appeal of peace and personal salvation offered by Christianity.
Right.
And I wonder, in a country that has experienced its share of turmoil, how much do those messages resonate?
It's a good question, I think. Sociopolitical factors really can intertwine with the search for spiritual meaning.
It's not just about the afterlife, right?
Exactly.
It's about what's happening right now.
Exactly, yeah.
And the video mentions these underground networks that provide support and guidance to those exploring the faith.
Yeah.
And I imagine those become vital when
absolutely.
Open practice is restricted.
Yeah, they provide that sense of belonging, shared faith,
which
should be really powerful.
Yeah, especially when you're facing potential rejection from family or wider society.
Yeah, it's a testament to that human need for connection, even when facing adversity.
All right, let's finish this group with Turkey.
Okay.
It was once home to a very significant Christian population.
Right.
But those numbers have dwindled.
Yeah.
But the video suggests that 20 to 30 people a day are converting.
Every day.
Primarily in cities.
Wow.
Like Istanbul and Ankara.
It's so interesting how those urban centers might actually create more of an environment for that. Because there's so much exposure to different ideas. So they might feel more empowered to question and explore alternatives.
It's like the city itself is a catalyst.
Yeah, exactly.
For this exploration.
And like in the other countries, that desire for a deeper, more personal connection seems to be driving a lot of this.
Yeah.
And this resonates with the broader trend of what we might call individualized forms of spirituality, moving away from those rigid doctrines, and finding experiences that speak to individual needs.
Okay, so we've got open conversions. We've got hidden conversions. What common threads are you seeing so far?
Well, that message of hope and personal salvation seems to be pretty potent for those seeking meaning in this world that can feel chaotic. It's a reminder that this search for meaning really transcends boundaries and societal norms.
For sure.
And then the other piece of this is this importance of community and support, whether through churches or online resources, that shared faith can be really powerful when facing potential isolation from their previous communities.
So we've talked about open conversions, hidden conversions. Now we've got two more countries where conversions are happening. Despite incredibly high stakes.
Oh, wow.
Pakistan and Afghanistan.
Okay.
Are you ready to dive into these?
Absolutely. These are compelling because they demonstrate the resilience of faith, even in challenging circumstances. So Pakistan, the growth of the Christian minority there is anything but insignificant.
The video claims that the Christian population actually increased by 200,000.
Wow.
In just the last year.
That's huge.
And what's even more astounding is that 50 to 60 people are converting every single day.
Every day.
Despite the very real threat of serious social and legal repercussions.
It's a testament to the power of belief, wouldn't you say?
I mean, it really makes you wonder what would motivate someone to take that risk.
Yeah, what is drawing them to Christianity in such a challenging environment? Well, the source suggests that this message of hope and personal salvation it provides a sense of refuge almost, like a glimmer of light in the midst of hardship.
Yeah, when you put it that way, it kind of starts to make sense.
Right. If your reality is filled with struggle, that message of hope can be so powerful.
Absolutely.
And it's not just the message itself, it's also the compassion and support of the community.
Yeah, because imagine you're facing isolation and rejection from your previous community.
Yeah.
That new community must be so important.
Right. It becomes a refuge in itself.
Yeah. It's not just about theological beliefs. It's about finding a place where you belong.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's shift to Afghanistan.
Okay. This one, even I was taken aback when I saw this on the list because Islam is so deeply entrenched there.
Right.
It's hard to imagine a shift towards Christianity.
Given the Taliban's rule,
wouldn't
it be incredibly dangerous?
Yeah, absolutely.
To convert.
Renouncing Islam is considered apostasy.
Right.
And that can carry the death penalty.
So any conversions happening are likely happening in secret?
Completely underground.
Yeah, they're taking a huge leap of faith.
A monumental leap of faith.
The source mentions 8 to 10 a day.
Wow.
But they're doing so in hidden communities.
Wow, it's almost like whispers in the wind.
Yeah, I can't imagine the strength it must take.
It's hard to fathom.
To live that way.
Yeah, and it's tough to know for sure what motivates them.
Yeah.
But the video suggests that some might be disillusioned with the current situation.
Yeah.
And they might be seeking a different path.
Right.
One that offers peace.
Right.
Even if it means living in the shadows.
It speaks to this enduring human need, right?
What it does.
This longing for something beyond just the harsh realities that they're facing.
It's a powerful reminder that even in those environments, the human spirit finds ways to seek hope and meaning.
Okay, now let's look at Indonesia and Iran.
Okay.
Where the video reveals some pretty remarkable conversion rates.
I'm intrigued.
Indonesia, this one was a big surprise for me.
Yeah.
Because it has the largest Muslim population globally.
Yeah.
Yet we're seeing a significant number converting to Christianity.
So how is that even possible?
Well, it's complex.
Yeah.
But I think it speaks to this dynamism of faith.
Yeah.
In the modern world.
Right.
Indonesia's undergone a lot of change in recent decades.
Yeah.
A burgeoning middle class.
Yeah.
Increased exposure to global ideas.
Right.
This might be contributing
makes sense.
to this greater openness to exploring different faiths.
And the video also mentioned the impact of political reforms.
Right.
Greater religious freedom.
Yeah. And that's crucial.
Yeah.
Because when people have the space to choose,
absolutely,
we often see a more diverse religious landscape.
Yeah, it's that individual agency.
Right.
That freedom to explore.
And the video also highlights that the Christian message of hope seems to resonate with many Indonesians.
Especially in a place where there's been some tension,
right?
Religious tension.
We're not just talking about a handful of conversions here.
Right.
The video claims 2 million Indonesian Muslims convert annually.
2 million.
That's over 5,000 every day.
That's a lot of people.
Okay, now Iran. This one really floored me.
Okay.
Because Iran actively discourages conversion from Islam.
Yeah.
Yet they have one of the fastest growing Christian populations in the world.
Wow. So what's driving this?
Well, it seems like it's this desire for spiritual freedom.
Yeah.
The video suggests that many Iranians are disillusioned with the control exerted by the government.
Right.
They're yearning for greater autonomy and a more personal connection with God.
Yeah.
And they're finding that within Christianity.
It's not just about switching religions.
Right.
It's deeper than that.
Yeah, it's this yearning for freedom, self-expression.
Yeah, and the video talks about how the underground church is actually thriving, fueled by Christian media and online ministries.
Wow, so they're able to penetrate those barriers?
They are. It's a fascinating example of how technology is really reshaping the religious landscape.
It's mind-blowing to think that even in a country like that, where information is controlled, people are finding ways to connect and embrace.
It shows that thirst for spiritual truth can't be quenched.
It really does challenge our assumptions about
religious boundaries.
It highlights the fluid and dynamic nature of faith. It seems like there's this movement away from traditional paradigms and this move towards individualized spirituality.
It's like a religious renaissance.
It is.
A blossoming of faith.
Yeah.
in these unexpected corners.
Pretty amazing.
Of the world.
Yeah, this is really
too.
opened my eyes to the complexities of faith.
Yeah, it's not as simple as we often think it is.
Not at all.
Wow, we've covered some serious ground today.
Yeah, a lot of ground.
From open conversions in Malaysia to hidden communities in Afghanistan. This trend of Christian growth in predominantly Muslim nations.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
It's really multifaceted.
Yeah, and really unexpected.
Yeah. What are some of the big takeaways for you? Well, one of the most striking things for me is how this really challenges the way we think about faith.
Yeah.
You know, we tend to think of religious demographics as fixed.
Yeah, like these neat little boxes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But this shows just how dynamic.
It really is.
Yeah. It's a good reminder that the world is constantly changing.
It is.
Our understanding of faith needs to keep pace.
Absolutely.
And it's not just about the numbers.
No.
Right? We saw some pretty big numbers today.
We did.
But this deep dive has revealed those deeply personal reasons behind these conversions.
Right. The reasons that go beyond just the doctrinal differences.
People are drawn to that message of hope and salvation.
Yeah. That promise of peace.
Right. And in many cases, it goes beyond just the spiritual. It's about finding that sense of belonging and community.
Yeah. Especially when
converting can lead to isolation.
So it seems like for many, it's not just about embracing new beliefs.
Yeah.
It's about finding a new community.
It's finding a place.
Right, where they feel understood.
Yeah, where they feel accepted.
This trend raises some interesting questions about the future.
Yeah, what does this mean?
Right, as the world becomes more interconnected.
Right.
Do you think we'll see?
Yeah, will we see?
More of this.
Yeah, more of
the blurring of those. Religious boundaries.
I think so.
I think scholars are going to be.
They will be.
Pondering this for years to come.
For a long time.
But let's bring it back to our listeners.
Okay.
Why should they care?
Right. What's the so what?
I think that, well, on a practical level, understanding these shifts is crucial for anyone working in international relations, diplomacy, humanitarian aid.
Right, even business. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because you can't effectively engage with a community if you don't understand what they believe.
It's about recognizing that human element.
Yeah.
You know?
And it goes beyond just the practical.
Yeah.
I think this speaks to a much deeper desire.
That search for meaning and connection.
Yeah, I think we all for sure that.
Regardless of background.
Yeah, we want to make sense of the world.
Yeah, find our place.
Find our place.
Connect with something larger.
It's that common ground.
That common ground.
Yeah, we're not just talking about...
No.
It's about lives. We're talking about people's lives.
Yeah.
Okay, now before we sign off, I want to leave our listener with a thought.
All right.
This video focused on that numerical growth.
Yeah.
But what about the human stories?
The human stories.
Behind the numbers.
Yeah. What motivates someone to make that change?
Especially when it's so risky.
Yeah. What are those individual narratives?
Imagine the courage
I know.
it takes to embrace a new faith.
Yeah. When you could lose everything.
Yeah, it speaks to that resilience.
It does.
Of the human spirit.
Yeah.
And that power of belief.
It's powerful.
To shape our lives.
It reminds us that faith isn't just a concept.
Right.
It's a lived experience.
Yeah, a lived experience.
It's dynamic. It's evolving.
It's adapting.
It is.
And within those stories, we find incredible insight.
So much insight.
I think we've reached the end
of our deep dive.
But as with any good exploration, we've only scratched the surface.
Just the beginning.
So listener, we encourage you,
keep
exploring.
Keep questioning.
Keep expanding your understanding.
Absolutely.
Of this amazing world.
This amazing world.
We live in.
We do.
Thanks for joining us.